you are around the world. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for lending us your eyes. And as you watch, remember to send in your questions and your comments so we can put them to our guest. And like how we have your attention, do us a favor now, share this video with as many people as possible, preferably like 1 million if you have, why not? And so we can have a very lively discussion. Now, it's one of the oldest double standards. Teenage boy gets teenage girl pregnant. His life is mostly allowed to continue normally. He's allowed to finish school without much judgment, scorn, or perhaps even ridicule. Teenage girl gets pregnant. She's either asked to leave school or put in circumstances where she's made to feel ostracized, put in a special class, or made to wear a special uniform or something like that. And as her belly gets bigger, so does the moral or religious judgment or scorn she has to face. And if she doesn't have a strong support system, she's likely to drop out of school and turn her back on her education. Increasingly over the years, however, steps are being taken to change this narrative. And one of the organizations leading the charge is the Women's Center Foundation of Jamaica. Here today to discuss the Women's Center's activities, as well as shed some light on one of its initiatives, the Adolescent Parenting Initiative, is Executive Director of the Women's Center Foundation of Jamaica, Ms. Zoe Simpson. Welcome.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Right, wonderful.
Absolutely.
All right. So for those of us who may not necessarily know much about the Women's Center Foundation of Jamaica, just give me a brief back history on the organization, what it does, its objectives, that kind of thing.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here and to share about the work of the Women's Center. I want to start by saying, first of all, it is a government agency presently under the umbrella of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. And we are so happy to be under that ministry where we have positive support from the minister and our board of directors and the staff and everybody to ensure that what we do, which surrounds a mandate of having the girls while they're pregnant enroll with us, continue their education during their pregnancy, have their babies, prepared for that process, prepared for parenting, prepared to develop their own lives and to get on with their lives, kind of a thing. And then they are reintegrated into the formal school system, where they are monitored for as long as they need to ensure that they complete their secondary education.
Fantastic.
It's their right. And so whereas the infrastructure, and the society is not prepared as yet, mind you, to have the girls remaining school while they're pregnant. And we're not encouraging teen pregnancy now, mind you.
Of course, definitely.
But life happens.
Exactly.
And we have to be there to support the girls, and we have to be there to ensure that they continue and complete their secondary education so that they can matriculate for tertiary level, so that they can be meaningfully engaged, you see. So they can take care of
child,
absolutely, and they don't become dependent on the state, and therefore continue gender-based violence, continue the trend of poverty, that kind of a thing. No. So the Women's Center is making a significant contribution to Vision 2030 Jamaica.
Absolutely. Agreed. I mean, as I said before, this is something that is a fantastic initiative.
Thank you.
It's a fantastic organization because, as you said, life happens.
Life happens.
As much as we might all plan to do this, that, and the third, sometimes things happen, and the course of your life gets shifted.
And we have to be able to help each other to get back on course. So we're 18 sites across Ireland. We have a presence in every parish. There are some persons who still think that we're only on Trafalgar Road in Kingston. No. We have pregnant girls, by the way, in the country, in the rural area.
Have been one of those
So let me help you. We have we have pregnant girls, you see. And we have rich girls who are pregnant and poor girls who are pregnant and middle class girls who are pregnant and so on. The bottom line is the girls are pregnant. They're having sex early because we are making them feel that it's okay. Yes, and they are distracted from their lessons by virtue of what's happening in the society, so they get pregnant. We are saying that's not the end of the world for these girls. Get up. Exactly. Get on with your life. Get out. And we're saying get out because sometimes we find the girls who are pregnant and they feel so demoralized, let's put it that way. The society dumps so much scorn and dirt upon them. The same society that impregnated them, mind you.
Exactly.
The same society that told them it's okay to have early sex and that kind of a thing. Now turns around. How unfortunate, how unfair. And now discriminates against these girls and so on. At the Women's Center, we he was going to say something. At the Women's Center,
this is a safe space. Speak your mind. That's what we want.
At the Women's Center, we do not countenance that, the discrimination. We are not even the punitive. I mean, the law must take its course because these are minors for the most part. And so the law takes its course. And by the way, for those who are listening, let me just clarify that in a number of instances, we have the referrals from the CISOCA, the agency that takes care of that matter.
Center for the Investigation of
Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. That's
exactly.
correct. And so they take care of the punitive, mind you. We take care of the redemptive. So we're saying the girls now must be able to continue their education and complete secondary. And thankfully, in a number of instances, I'll tell Jamaica, I'll tell the world, that in terms of what we do, they get their academic instructions, intense counseling, so they understand themselves, they understand what's going on with this pregnancy thing, they understand their roles and responsibilities now as parents, they understand that yes, they are children, but they are persons and they need to develop themselves and so on. Right. They understand how men think, how girls think, kind of a thing, yes? And so the counseling is very intense. And we look at the issues that they have, mind you, and we look at what's likely to happen down the road, and we help them to steer clear of those. So it's counseling and vocational training.
Let me stick up in right there, because I want to ask you, I mean, take me, for hypothetically speaking, a girl comes in, she's pregnant. What happens next? She makes contact with the women's center and says, okay, this is my situation, got pregnant, not necessarily allowed to go to school, or situation change, may not necessarily be in a position to go to school. What do you do when you meet that girl for the first time? And
so, yes, we meet them at the health centers, the hospitals, in the spaces where they are in the communities, and then we encourage them to come. Parents sign a consent form to say we are giving you the consent to talk to her about contraceptive methods. Okay. And I was going to go on to say that the second pregnancy rate has remained below 2% for the last 40 years when we started in 1978.
For those who come through your program?
Absolutely, for those who come through. The girls tend not to get pregnant a second time on account of the counseling, the depth of counseling that we do to help them to find their person and meaning to life, that kind of a thing. So we find the girls in the communities or wherever they are, and they register, they come with a parent or guardian. Okay. Because if the girl is going to be successful, she will need, to a large extent, the support of the adult figure in her life. Right.
Support system has to be necessary, yeah. It's vital.
And so we help the parent, because sometimes too the parent comes and the parent is distraught. Because in some instances the parent was an adolescent parent, him or herself. And this is the last thing that a mother wanted to have happened to her daughter even. So we have to, at the Women's Center, the counselors, thank God for a good cadre of staff who understand the dynamics here. And will now walk a parent through the possibilities, through helping the parent to see that there is the sun will shine tomorrow for your daughter. She can still she can still do whatever she wants to do. She can become whoever she wants to become, kind of a thing. This pregnancy should not delay. It may delay, but it should not deter. It should not prevent her from maximizing her own potential. So we work with the parents for them to understand. And thankfully, when we are done with the parents, they kind of have a change of heart. So whereas they may want to throw the girl out, put her out, what are you putting her out to? To whom? For what? To what end? Understand that this is your problem. Come on now. It's not just the girl's problem. It's a familial situation. And we have to deal with it as a family. And we say to the community too, this is not just the family's problem, it is our problem. We have to embrace it. We made the problem, so we have to fix it together. And we tend to be myopic in a sense where we say, oh, this cannot happen to my family or my daughter. It can happen to her.
Never my daughter, my well-behaved, good student daughter, right?
I know. But guess what? It's amazing how sometimes the girls turn up and it's like 7 months down the road and you realize, whoa, but it has happened to my daughter. So we don't want to be throwing dirt on anybody. It can happen to us. What we sensibly say, though, is let us hold hands together to fix this thing and to help our girls to realize that there's a lot of life beyond an early pregnancy.
All right,
that's a sensible thing to do.
Let me just take a moment to check in with those online. We already have some persons sending in comments and just talking about the situation. Big up to Ricardo Portius, who is bigging us up. And thank you for your eyes. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to send in more questions, more comments, share your ideas so we can have a lively discussion on this topic. Let's live and laugh. One Love Jamaica. Thank you for that comment. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Avon Peralto Nichols, regular watcher. Appreciate your eyes. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your feedback as always. Interesting question here from Sharon Forever Young Lawrence Guest. She says, having a daycare at a few schools can also help after the baby. They can still continue their education. Just my thought. What's your thought on that?
Can I say that?
Of course, look in the camera and tell Sharon forever young Lawrence.
Wonderful. You see, that's the kind of mindset that we embrace and we are encouraging. As a matter of fact, if I may even be bold enough to say, we envision at the Women's Center the day, like I think I said it already, when the schools recognize that there's no point in necessarily putting the girls out, and then the other girls don't have to catch this pregnancy thing. It's not a virus even. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So we do the HFLE curriculum, the counseling that is needed in the schools. We have the frank discussions. We point them in the right directions. We give them the opportunities to prevent this kind of a thing, right? But I agree with her that yes, we could have
daycare at school.
Facilities.
I'm going to play devil's advocate right here. I mean, I'm sure the principal of even an all-girls school is going to be like, nope, never going to happen.
I know, we're not quite ready for that.
Not on my watch.
But put it this way, we talk about Vision 2030 Jamaica, and we position in this conversation with Vision against the background of national development. And us wanting to become a first world country by X time. Do you know that there are several other jurisdictions, in several other spaces, you have the facilitation for the girls to remain in school during the pregnancy and for them to have a nursery where they can drop off the baby and go to class, which is what we do at the Women's Center, by the way. So we may want to think of the Women's Center as a model, a model of a thought for down the absolutely
institution like this.
So at the Women's Center, the girls, they come, they take their babies to school. And they put the babies are in the daycare centers, the day nurseries, where we have trained caregivers who attend to the needs of the babies. The girls go to their classes. At specific times throughout the day, during the break period and so on, they bond with their babies. They nurse their babies. We monitor the interaction between mother and child to ensure that she gets it right. So she's focused on her education. I guess those babies, which is why the offspring of the adolescent mothers who register at the Women's Center tend to do absolutely so well.
Okay.
Because they're in an environment of learning. Learning by osmosis. Right, so they understand. They're getting the picture that school is of utmost importance to their mother, to themselves. Granted, they're little babies, but you do not underestimate the learning that takes place in a child's mind.
Of course. So how many women do you cater to? Is there a cap on the amount of women you cater to at a time, or is it really just first come, first, or as those who need the service can come and access it regardless of the number, amount, that kind of thing?
If you're an adolescent and you are pregnant, we have room for you at the Women's Center at any of the sites across Ireland. We have outreach. We have 10 main centers and 8 outreach stations. And we go into the spaces to ensure that we're accessible and affordable to all the girls.
Which brings us to the next question, one from Avon Peralta Nichols. Thank you for your question. She says, does the Women's Center reach out to schools in order to promote contraceptives to prevent pregnancies in young girls? So basically, do you proactively go into the schools and say, okay, this is a situation, if this and this happen, you can have a baby, therefore you need to be aware of what these contraceptive measures are?
No, we can't do that, mind you. We can't do that. These are minors. Come now.
These are minors. They're still having sex, so
Precisely.
We have to think differently.
So we talk about other things, contraceptive methods. That's not the only way to prevent a pregnancy. Have the youngster focus on education, on a career goal, following a particular path, a positive career path, and so on. Making sure that the opportunities are there for them to express themselves, to burn their energies, to max out their minds. Young people are brilliant. Part of what happens here in these cases is that there are not enough spaces, not enough opportunities, not enough challenges. Sometimes we have children who we think are rude is because they don't have any challenge. The classroom don't belong here. So create the spaces wherein our youngsters can just utilize their energies and their brilliance.
So you're one who believes
and we'll see a different picture.
You're one who believes that the more engaged they are in other things, they won't have time to necessarily find themselves into other, unwanted things or maybe antisocial things.
And so that's one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is give them the education and the skills to negotiate and to make the right decisions and to prioritize, so they know when I'm up in when my back is up against a certain situation, when I'm in a certain space, when my hormones are raging, I know how to control
yourself,
and to manage myself. Come on.
So that's
is part
more
of
the
the
message,
equation.
Not necessarily so much contraceptive, or maybe that is part of the message.
Part of the message.
Smaller part of the message compared to learning self-control, learning how to appreciate the changes your body goes through, that kind of thing.
How to interpret what's happening to you and how to respond to what's happening to you.
All right. Bukal Netroy, thank you. She says, big good move, JS. Thank you. Appreciate that, Bukal. Vanessa Silver says, kudos to Dr. Simpson and the team. The work
Hi, Vanessa.
The work you do with the nation's young women is invaluable. So, yeah, take a bow for that one.
Thank you.
And Sharon, Forever Young Lauren, says she appreciates your response and your compliments.
All right, thanks.
All right. And Charmaine Linton Delap says, you do a marvelous job, the Women's Center Foundation. God bless you.
Thank you.
Evan Prato-Nichols has another question. She says, is sex education not recognized and taught in schools to minors as a part of prevention?
It is. Sex education is taught in school, and we must teach it. It's part of the wider education framework. Give the children the information and teach them how to interpret and to handle the information. That is part of the thing.
A lot of
Tell us.
A lot of persons are on the side that, look, they're having sex, so why not arm them with the information so that they don't end up at the women's center?
That's
they
the
won't
point.
need to.
Exactly.
So
Give them the information.
You're in support of that kind of thing.
Yes, yes. Women's Center. Shall I prophesy this? Women's Center, as a matter of fact, adolescent pregnancy is trending down in Jamaica. Jamaica should take a bow by virtue of the fact that we are doing something right. Not just the Women's Center, the entire country, the government. We celebrate the fact that the adolescent pregnancy rate is trending down. When we started in 1978, the rate was at 31%. When we looked a few years later than that, we were at 20, and then we came down to 18%, the research that was done in 2008, which is a dated research, mind you. And the call now is for up-to-date statistics. But because we go into all the spaces where we expect to see the adolescent mothers, we are recognizing that about 7 years ago, we would have had 1,500 girls coming to the Women's Center. And as we looked back, we saw where we years later, we had 1,004, 1,003, 1,002, 1,001. That's where we are at.
Exactly.
And as we look at the stats for this last year, fiscal year, we are thinking, whoa, chances are we may not even make the 1,000 mark.
Yeah, so they might be putting that aspect of their business out of business then, which is great.
Exactly. We are prepared to look jobs at GIS. We are prepared to look jobs elsewhere because we don't want our girls pregnant at 11.
All right, we have a testimonial online, Cassandra Fuller.
Hi,
Appreciate
Cassandra.
it, Cassandra. She's saying, I'm a proud past student.
Yes.
Women's Center gave me the intervention I needed to move past my pregnancy and have become an empowered female. So
and works at the Women's Center.
Big ups to you, Cassandra. Appreciate that. It's messages like that that women need to hear. There is a way past. I mean, there might be a young lady right now who found out she was pregnant, underage, that kind of thing, and is just wondering what she's going to do with herself. What's her next move?
Yes.
Your testimonial might just be the thing that helps her to get to the Women's Center.
There you go.
And do something, make a change. And who knows? Next, you might be the next Prime Minister. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Okay. Before I even go back to any more questions, let's just go straight into the Adolescent Parenting Initiative. Talk to me about that and what that entails.
All right, fine. So already we know that the work of the Women's Center really makes us a significant contribution to nation building. But as we look into what's happening in the families in Jamaica, as we see the extent to which crime and violence is on the rise and poverty, we're not really getting to where we want to go in terms of poverty reduction and so on. When we see how many of our young boys are on the streets and girls who are getting pregnant still, kind of a thing. When we see how parents beat their children brutally, we recognize that we have to do something else, something more. So we have inserted parenting in the curriculum, in the counseling curriculum at the Women's Center. It has always been there. But we are saying, let us now strategically, specifically, scientifically, if you will, see how we must know where the gaps are. We need to empower the girls to be transformational parents.
Of course.
To ensure the transformation that we need to see happen in our country. Transformational parenting is the name of the initiative. Reshaping families. Reshaping families so you have parents who are present in the lives of their children. Parents who recognize that, yes, we don't have a lot of things, but we're going to huddle together because I need to know where my child is at a certain time.
Exactly.
I need to know what kind of mindset changes need to happen with my child, kind of a thing. So we are seeing the change in Jamaica will happen, or put it a different way, adolescent mothers will be able to make a significant contribution to that change that we're looking for in our family lives. So we want them to be empowered and equipped with the skills they need to become the transformational parents, even if they are single parents, for them to understand their roles and responsibilities, for them to embrace the fact that I'm a parent. I'm a student, I'm a child, but I'm a parent.
Right.
I owe it to my child to be there, to protect, to provide, to prevent, kind of a thing. I am going to be a transformational.
All right. So what do you take them through? Well, I mean, it's one of the biggest problems the society faces, which is babies having babies and them not necessarily knowing how to be a parent.
That's
you know,
right.
if you are young and your inclination is to go out have fun and not necessarily look after your child,
Right.
that can obviously lead to have some very negative social repercussions. So
Right.
what do you take them through in this course? What do you fill their minds with?
The fact that you're a parent and you have to do things differently from the other adolescent who's not a parent. So we look at the kind of skills, like I said, that they need to parent their child. We look at the fact that you have to make some sacrifices. You have to save. You have to get your education too. You have to be there. You have to get the support you need. So we partner with the other agencies around. UNICEF, by the way, is assisting us largely with finances for the program, and also the ministry is also contributing significantly, so that we can roll out the course. It's a 12-week parenting course that we're doing with the girls. We had last week a parenting conference where we had persons, older parents who were adolescent parents themselves, who would share their experience as to how they crossed it, how they managed, how they handled it.
Lovely.
Yes,
Lovely.
how kind of a thing, and shared with the girls their own experiences and so on. So we have other persons who are walking beside them as part of the intervention. The what is the word I'm looking for here now? They are mentoring these younger girls for them to become the kind of parents that we're looking for.
Which kind of takes me to our question. We say, just to interrupt for a moment, there's Candice Christian is asking, are past students of the Women's Center acting as mentors for current teenage mothers?
Absolutely. They come all the time. And they come smiling and they're saying, just look at me now. And thank you so much, Women's Center, for what you have done for me. I want to know, help my sister coming behind me to also step up and find herself. So they really do come back all the time. They work with us. They come back to offer their to volunteer or to seek employment, paid employment kind of a thing. As a matter of fact, we boast the fact that at one of our, I think 2 of our centers have managers who were offsprings of adolescent mothers. And we have those who registered there as adolescent mothers who are now serving as counselors, as managers, as whatever.
Okay. All right. Another big up from Asgegdam. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
With
And
a
don't
name like
don't
that.
take any offense to me. I'm just saying
Love
trying to pronounce it phonetically. But she's
Yes.
saying parenting guidance is very low because children having children. That's
Yes.
one of the biggest problems they need. They need to be educated and make sacrifices. So I suspect she's very satisfied with the nature of the program that you're rolling out and so on. So all right. So in terms of that program itself, what are some of the other, is that apart from your primary parenting, you work with the children to, manage and get their education, ensure that they continue their education, and through a program like this which helps them to learn about parenting, is there any other thrust or any other initiative that the Women's Center facilitates for young mothers or adolescent mothers rather?
Well, put it this way. Last year, when we celebrated our 40th anniversary proudly, we rolled out a new initiative called A-Stream program, which is advancing secondary, tertiary remedial education for adolescent mothers. So I think I did say that the girls are reintegrated into the formal school system after they've had their babies. What the research has found is that several of those girls who are reintegrated drop out a second time. And we want to think at the Women's Center that the real success of the program overall is the number of girls who complete secondary, because we would have expended millions of dollars for them for this first phase of the intervention. What good if they were to drop out when they go back to school? No
Right.
good. So this program now facilitates their completion of secondary education. And so there are 3 components to the A-Stream, one of which is the mentorship. So we pair girls with mentors, older women from corporate society who are in a position to mentor. And so that's mentorship, scholarship, those who need extra funds to be able to go back to school. Those who, the scholarship really is for those who are matriculating to tertiary, but we have a bursary, a sponsorship, a bursary now, which we give to help those who are going back to school, because sometimes they drop out a second time for want of finances, the school expenses. Remember now, this is a the support, the financial support, the psychosocial support, yes? Here is a mother now who is going back to school, a girl who's going back to school, not just as a student, but as a mother. It is not easy. It's kind of
difficult to find money to do all that when
not
you have
only
a child,
the money, the time, the energy.
Exactly.
To divide your attention between a bawling baby and a bawling book. Huh?
Right, yeah, of course, of course, absolutely.
A big book, a better adjective,
absolutely.
kind of a thing. So we have to help her. We have interfaced with girls who just look in your eyes and implore Jamaica to help me. I want this thing. Contrary to popular belief that the girls are worthless, it is not true. They are not worthless.
Don't tell me. Tell me.
They're not worthless. They want their education like what? And too bad. So let me say it positively. We have to help them, therefore, to get it.
All right. So
and we do ourselves a favor, Jamaica, when we help each adolescent mother to get it. We have, the program is not mandatory. So we have some girls who are not yet with us, but they're going to come. And there are some older ones. Another thing we're finding too is that the girls are pregnant later. We're still saying to those girls, we want to talk to you about contraceptive methods, about making good decisions in terms of your sexual and reproductive health, rights and responsibilities. We want to speak to the fathers too, to say there's much more to you than a penis, you see? And so you don't have to go around. Absolutely. Let's put it that way. Nice way to put it. So the bottom line at the Women's Center is we're seeking to help to position our children for a better Jamaica, for themselves, for better persons, better people. And if you have good persons, if you have persons who are citizens who are positioned, who understand themselves and the contribution they can make, who understand that latent in each and every one of us is God-given gifts and talents and abilities that we must make to occupy the space and to make the world a better place.
Funny if I don't remember the study I read or the information that I saw about it, but there's some information out there that says that for every woman you empower within a society, it has an actual physical or tangible effect on the GDP of the country.
Absolutely.
Meaning when you empower the women who are the ones taking care of your children, the ones who are your nurses, your teachers, they occupy so many absolutely essential roles within the society. That's so that for each woman you empower,
yes,
you allow to finish her education, go through the process of getting a job and being an active contributor of the society as a whole, you raise the GDP.
Absolutely.
So obviously, one can even make the argument that the Women's Center is, I don't want to say single-handedly, but a very major contributor to Jamaica's economic growth.
Oh, absolutely. We interface with three generations. So because this parenting initiative focuses attention also on the parents of the adolescent mothers. What we don't want is for out of any one family you have 3 girls at Women's Center. No. Something is wrong with that formula.
Exactly.
So we have to work with the parents. We have to help the older parents to understand that if her daughter is going to be a good parent, the older parent has to fix herself too. And to also be positioned to help the younger parent to be a better parent. So we work with the parent of the adolescent mother, and we work with the fathers of the children, and then we also work with the babies. So we talk about 3 generations and 4 sets of persons. With just one stroke of the pen, we interface and we affect and influence the lives of 4 sets of persons.
I mean, you touched on it before, but for the benefit of Candice Christian, she's asking, what about teenage fathers? Are they included in the work of the Women's Center in some kind of way? And better yet, is there an organization for young fathers, even though most teenage fathers seem not to be as affected as the girls?
So they're not as affected because, like you started out by saying, they remain in school. And so we want the girls to remain in school too. That's another discussion. The point, though, is that we work with the fathers. So we get the names and the contact information, and we go after the fathers, and we invite them to come in. Most recently, we are partnering largely with the male desk at the Bureau of Gender Affairs, and they're our sister agency, same ministry, both of us in the gender portfolio of the ministry. So we're working with the male desk to reach more of the young men so that they can improve their person also. So we do work with them. We counsel, we point them in a particular direction, we,
Try to get work with them and help them to be a part of the process
of
and
course.
so on.
And to own the responsibility of their children, not the girls, not the girls. But you must, as a young man, have a formidable relationship with your child.
Of course. Is there an organization that you're aware of that does, separate and apart from perhaps the male desk at the Bureau, is there another organization? I believe there's one.
There's Amazing Dads, and we're seeking to hold hand. We've done some work with them too, and we're wanting to do much more work with them to help work with the young men. I think it's McGav, Men of God Against Violence and something.
Right. I don't know if it's something called Man Up or another one.
And there's Fathers Inc. I'm not sure they are as vibrant as they should be, but they're there too.
Okay.
Fathers Inc. and other fledgling men group.
Yeah. So we can look that up and provide that to you in the comments, so we can have a more a direct feedback or direct line of communication for those kind of because those are absolutely necessary as well. Those that cater to the men and so on. It works as well. Ricardo Portres has a maybe potentially controversial question, but I'll just put it to you. In terms of sexual education and contraceptive and that kind of thing, he's saying that they can teach children about this from the primary school. What do you say about that?
Why not? Sex. I think we need to demystify sex. We need to demystify sex. Sex is a lovely, beautiful thing that God ordained and made.
Will say that
in the right context. In the right context, mind you, I need to say that. And so we need to talk to our children openly about sex.
Absolutely.
You see? We need to sex education.
The traditionalists might say, well, boy, if you tell them about it, they might guess you stoke their curiosity, and before you know it, they're actually doing the thing that you're telling them not to do.
Give them the correct information. Okay. I tell you what, it's the adults who think like this,
Yeah,
you tell children ask you a simple question and you tell them foolishness about strokes and what you call it, storks and so. Give them correct information. Give them the correct name for the body parts and that kind of a thing. Talk freely about vagina and penis, nothing wrong with that. You see what I'm saying? Take the mystery out of the sex thing, right? It's because of the mystery that overshadows sex, why the children now, who are inquisitive, who are seeking to explore and experiment, it's because there's just too much mystery about this thing. So you have to investigate. And so they're investigating without the correct information. Right. And that is how they get in trouble.
All right.
We need to change the formula.
Give them the right information early so that they can understand it and make the right decisions.
And we need to set good examples too, as parents and as adults.
And that is where I think
and take responsibility.
That's where I think we're letting them down. Obviously, we see some of the images and things you go around just seeing plastered beside schools where children must walk and so on. That, I mean, come on. But, we have to do better as a society, and I really hope we could do something about that. But let me move to our next question. Jude Scotty, thank you, Jude Scotty, for she's a big up actually. She's saying, proud offspring of the Women's Center. WCJF transformed my mom into a well-rounded individual and equipped her with positive parenting skills and attributes.
There you go.
So
we want to talk some more with her.
Take her both for that one.
Thank you.
Alvin Peralto Nichols saying, for young women who do not get to come to the Women's Center, is there outreach to include them in these programs?
The girls who do not get to come, I'd like to find out why they don't get to come. Our doors are open and we want all of them to come. It's not mandatory reminder so they can say. So, but
perhaps maybe for one reason or another, maybe they don't feel like they don't have the money. Maybe they don't feel like they feel like they don't have the. Are they not allowed to? Because shame is a big part of the thing.
Shame.
So, parents might feel like, all right, I don't want to not going to send my daughter because then the whole world going no and then blah blah blah.
Get over yourself. Come on, I would say get over yourself and look down the road. Come on. So it's not easy, I can tell you that. A lot of girls are in that position. But when they come and see that, no me one, this, other girls, and when we say to them, hey, you so-and-so, this person would have sat right here. We had a most powerful testimonial at the conference we shared last week. And the girls were like, and it's like, just look at me now. My situation was maybe worse than yours. And by the way, finances, yes, sometimes prohibits, but we assist the girls where the needs are. We have a welfare program, and thank God we have corporate society that really helps us in that direction. A girl is going to have her baby and she has nothing. We have persons who will reach out and say we can help her, kind of a thing. We, personal care items, food items, things for the baby, things for the mother. Just things.
All right, so they just need to contact you first.
Come to the Women's Center.
All the excuses, just call you and get
there's
that.
no excuse. Come. And it's a sisterhood of a second chance where we hold hands together, where we cry together, where we solve problems together, where we find solutions together, where we work issues through together.
Fantastic.
And make it happen for ourselves and our children and for our country.
All right, the passion is, I'm getting there. Yeah, feeling it, feeling it.
Come
Feeling
on
it. I like
over.
It says, Latoya Nefer TT Ratru says, big up to the WCJF. Great job. Please bear in mind that girls get molested and end up being pregnant.
That's right.
Not all young mothers went looking for sex. Can
Absolutely.
Dr. Simpson say more about the initiative? I heard about the conference and the parenting course. I suspect she wants to hear about go over again the adolescent parenting initiative.
So I think we spoke about the conference that we had where all the adolescent mothers, or well, those who were able to travel, because if they were advanced pregnant, then we wouldn't have them coming from Montego Bay that far, the distance and so on. So we had the conference, the parenting workshop where we look at all the issues surrounding parenting, and we shape and mold and interact and interrogate the issues, that kind of a thing. So the course is happening. Then we are training our caregivers in the nurseries also, who will help us now to reinforce the content, the classroom content, into the practical, yes, in the day nurseries and so on. We're going to have a lecture down in November when we look at parenting as a contributing factor to national development. We're looking to see how parents must protect their children, must speak up where we have this incest happening in the home. We must break down the culture of silence in the society, in the communities, and just talk about the issues and see how this now really inhibits and prohibits the development of our communities and thwarts the lives of our children and so on. And we say to the big men, leave the girls alone, kind of a thing, and hold their hands positively instead of putting them in bed. And the foolish myths that we have sometimes to say, well, if we have sex with a baby, all of them think they're yesterday. It's a new day in Jamaica. We're looking forward to Vision 2030, I said, where it will happen if we have better homes, better families, where fathers don't think that their role is only to provide, but they must be also there with a presence, a psychological presence, where they also know and help their students with their assignments, where they also go to parent-teachers association meetings, where they talk with their children about career paths and personal development and, life kind of a thing. Parents who are there in their children's lives, where we have mothers who know that the stepfather is molesting the child, but then because of the finances and the economics, she doesn't give a listening ear. We're saying to our girls, pay attention to your children. Teach them the correct things, values and virtues of life, that kind of a thing and so on. It's a whole landscape.
I guess maybe you have more work to do if the parents, if you manage to be successful in getting the teenage mothers to stop coming, you still have a full plate of work left to do.
We have a lot of work to do, and we're armed, and we're empowered, and we're encouraged. We really thank God for our directors, the board of directors who walk beside us and assist us, and the minister, the permanent secretary, all of them. This is nation building. Yeah. This is nation building.
And I'm sure there are persons in the diaspora, persons listening online from all over the world, in Jamaica and further afield, who might be hearing the passion, feeling it, and want to play a part. How are there any areas in particular you're looking for support, any kind of assistance, that kind of thing, to help you beef up the work that you're doing?
Just about anything that comes to your mind in terms of contribution, we would have need for it, and we will gladly receive it. And it doesn't matter how large or how small. From buildings to books to computers, one of the things we're doing too, I'll tell you this. Whereas a few years ago, the girls from rural would come to the Kingston Center, which is the examination site for the adolescent mothers. And so they would come, leave their homes for a whole week, be in a dormitory there, and get their lessons, and then they go home every weekend and come back. So they would be traversing, commuting. And they stopped coming because that's expensive.
Of course.
And which mother wants to leave her baby for a whole week even? And so they stopped. And we thought, and we said, let's fix that. So we did. And so what we have now are virtual classes in the rural centers. And we have an online platform. So we still transmit virtually from Kingston Center to the satellites, to the station, to the centers out there. And since we did that, the enrollment in the CSEC program has quadrupled.
Fantastic.
Once upon a last year or the year before, we had a girl who had to be in the hospital because her baby had a congenital heart disease and had to remain in hospital after birth. She was able to be in the hospital nursing her baby and tapping into the online classes to do her exams.
Fantastic.
We had girls who were in the
Fantastic.
hospital to have their babies, and we would take their exam papers to them because they want it, and we are saying we will help you to do it, that kind of a thing. So we have the online facilitation, and sooner than later, in terms of the fact that we depend on academic instructions from the school system, we have a little issue there because the school system is now going to full day. So we rely on those who are on the shift system, where we don't have that facilitation and where we don't have full-time teachers. By virtue of us having this online platform, and we want to say many thanks to the entity that assisted us in getting the Moodle platform, so we can now get our lessons out to the girls wherever they are. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse, and there's no limit. As a matter of fact, at the Women's Center, we say, you know how we in Jamaica we say the sky is the limit. For us, there's no sky, so there's no limit to what we do, and to what we can do, and to what we will do with the help of the Almighty God.
There you have it. All right, fantastic. Sharon, Forever Young Lauren says maybe when I retire and move there, she can assist. So yeah, it seems like you've made a good convert right there.
Lovely. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Zandra Woolcock online. Thank you so much, Zandra, for your comment. She's saying, this is another great presentation. Thanks, JS and Miss Simpson. I love to hear and read stories of second chances. Keep up the good work, WCJF.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
And they can find us on our website, mind you.
Yeah, I'm going to give them all that good information right now. So I'm going to just give the last word to you. You said so much, but I'm going to just leave the last word over to you. So what's the mantra? What's the Women's Center? What for those who might be sitting on their, watching this on their phone right now, sitting on the bed, girl who just got news that she's pregnant, a friend or a relative of somebody of a teenage girl who got pregnant. What is the message that you're going to send to them right now so that they can know that Women's Center is where they need to be as soon as possible?
And I want to start by saying we don't want our girls pregnant. Come on now. But if life happens to you that way, then register with the Women's Center that's nearest to you so that we can help you to overcome this delay, this hurdle, and to get on with your life. There's a lot of life ahead of you, young girls and young boys too. Make use of it. We want to help you. Make the best use of your life. You have only one life, and you don't have a lot of time to live it. Maximize your potential. Dig deep inside of you, look inside of you and find it. Take the time. Sometimes you have to close shop, lock shop, close for stock taking of yourself, of your person, and find the gift that God has blessed you with. And find the energy and the power and what is laying there inside of you. Dig it up, pull it out, bring it to surface, and make it happen for you.
All right. Ricardo Porches, you said it already, but I'm gonna just let you answer. He's asking, is the WCJF in every parish in Jamaica? You answer.
In every parish in Jamaica. And if you don't know where to find us, you can maybe call at the head office.
All right. Let me share that information.
Thank you.
The website is womencenterja.com. That's womencenterja.com. Very easy to remember. Numbers are 876-929-7608 or 876-929-0977. Or you can send an email to info@womencenterja.com. See, there are ways to connect with them. And of course, they're on all social media platforms. So,
that's right.
You know, that's where they are. That's where everybody is anyway. So just send them a message, get their information, and just link up with them and, you know, start the process. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. We're there, and we will help you. We want to.
Well, last question. Even Pralton, because does WCJF have public advertising on TV?
On TV? No, we do not advertise publicly on TV. No, we don't. But these kind of conversations now
can
serve the
stimulate
purpose.
That. So it sounds like more people are interested in hearing what you're all about. So I guess maybe you might need to rethink that. I don't know,
We could. We will. So we are emerging. We
right.
celebrated 40, but we have a little ways to go yet, even, and so we'll get there.
All right. They say it's always good to leave when your audience is engaged. Leave them wanting some more.
Yes.
So we're gonna take the time to wrap.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you who sent in questions and comments. We really, really appreciate them. This is your platform, so when you speak up, it makes us. It shows the value of it, and we really get to share the information and actually achieve our objective. And if you send in a question and we didn't get to answer it in our question, not to worry. we can go through afterwards and make sure that you get the answers that you need. Now, remember, our audience plays a major part in our show. So if there's anyone you'd like for us to have in studio, let us know, and we'll try to have that person in studio as soon as possible. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Information Service to see who will be in studio next. We do this every Thursday live on Facebook. I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you again for joining us, and please have a wonderful day.